morning, everyone. We're indeed happy that we're here at this momentous occasion where we will be signing documents so that we'll be able to access funding for further development of our teachers in Antigua Barbuda. This is as a result of heads of government seeing the need to commit resources so that we could enhance our education sector even more so. And so this morning, we are indeed happy to have this signing of the contract as it relates to the OAS Development Corporation Fund, through which Antigua and Barbuda will be able to access $83,000 to fund our initiative for strengthening of the teaching profession under the caption Teacher Empowerment for Nation Building. And so, at this time, we will ask our Minister of Education, Honorable Michael Brown, to bring more information as he was up front bringing the charge so that this could be possible for us today.
Thank you, Miss Maskell. Let me say pleasant good morning to the Permanent Secretary, the Director, Miss Maskell, who will be the executioner of the program. And on my left, we have key representatives from the Organization of American States and Gender Affairs as well. Let me just give a background. For the last 2 years or so, 2 to 3 years or so, the Organization of American States, primarily being led by the ministers of education across the region, we have challenged the Organization of American States to up the ante in terms of the overall contribution to the development of teacher education and to pedagogy throughout. One of the challenges that we found was that there's an inconsistency in the way teachers are trained and professional development is done from Latin America to South America across the Caribbean. As a result, we had put together working groups that were chaired by ministers of education across the region to come up with various formulas as to how we can remedy this. Last year in Washington, D.C., we were able to successfully secure funding for the overall region. I think the total sum amount might have been roughly about $2 to $3 million that is to be shared throughout the entire region. And the money is to be earmarked through the teacher empowerment program for nation building. Now, among the concerns, there were 3 concerns which really was a focus for the ministers of education. One was the quality of instruction, and in terms of the equity of education, that was a key thing. How do we provide continuous training for teachers, and especially in regards to professional development? Another component was strengthening teacher education, whether it's from the methodology to the qualitative and quantitative aspects that contribute to teaching. Also, when it comes to teachers being able to negotiate the different variables that impacted upon the ability to be able to teach. And last but not least, a child who comes into school who does not have early childhood education comes into school at a disadvantage. And so what we wanted to put in place was a mechanism that would ensure that we provide do the assessments and provide the basic training in childcare education for pedagogues who are teaching at the most junior level, at the most elementary or infant level. We are used to having babysitters for the most part for youngsters, but transitioning to that phase where we have educators who are trained to be able to respond to the needs of the most vulnerable of our society, so that when they start primary school, they'll start primary school at an advantage rather than a disadvantage. Antigua's allotment of that overall share of the fund was $83,000. I will say, very unfortunate. I've been the blunt of many attacks for always going to Washington, D.C. For these various meetings. But I'm happy to say, especially now that the OAS is here and the Ministry of Education is here, that we can see some tangible results from those one of the tangible results from many of those frequent trips. And there has been the assumption that the OAS and its relevance to the region may be in question. I am happy that our signing today galvanizes the extent to which that the OAS is not only making a comeback in terms of establishing and re-establishing its relevance in the region, but the Ministers of Education through the International Education Department, we have made it very, very plain that money is going to be put where decisions have been made, and we are happy that Antigua's share of that funding, small, 83,000 US dollars, but it's a step in the right direction, and we are thankful. And I look forward for the permanent secretary and the representative to be able to sign, so that we can make this concrete. And I know the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, our students, and Antigua and Barbuda, we are thankful. We are thankful for being a part of this initiative, and we embrace it completely. And I know Mr. Brown is used when I say, Mr. Brown, some money is coming. He's not going to get frightened, but he rest assured that he knows that if I tell him money is coming, it may take a couple of months, which is in fact is a couple of months, but the money is actually here. And Mrs. Maskell, I know, with her team to the planning department, is eager to be able to utilize this, and I give the assurance in advance that the Ministry of Education and Antigua and Barbuda will give full account for the use of the funds, and in terms of the outcomes and benefits to teachers overall. And I journey to DC again shortly to follow up on these negotiations, and then the OAS will come back again in August, since Antigua will be hosting the 2019 Inter-Education Commission Conference on Education, where the entire Organization of American States Minister of Education will be having their joint meeting in Antigua and Barbuda. So it's a step in the right direction, and education sees the direct benefit. All right. I think we can go into the signing process now, and then point out.